Hello there, it's Grace chatting here with part two of how to survive living with an alcoholic. So, at the end of part one, I talked about you becoming increasingly codependent. Now, what does that mean? Well, when we're young, when we're babies, infants, little children, young, we're dependent. We are dependent on our parents for our need for food, shelter, warmth, but also for our emotional needs, to have a sense of being an okay person, to be wanted, to have some recognition, to have some sense that you matter, that you're of value, that you're significant, that you're good enough. All of those emotional and psychological, our psychological development, we look to our parents to meet those. Now, if our parents are taken up with their survival, basically what happens often is that if they're so busy surviving themselves, they will perhaps take care of us and they'll feed us and clothe us and see that we get to school. They may even see that we get our homework done. They may socialize us and teach us how to be well behaved, but often if they're very preoccupied with their own lives and their own problems and their own difficulties, and some of those may be very real and genuine difficulties, they are not able often to see beyond the caretaking to meet our emotional and psychological needs. Because let's face it, children in children's homes have all their basic needs met. So the benefit of being with parents is to be parented, which does mean having your emotional and psychological needs met and your growth and development as a person seen to. But certainly in the generation that I grew up in, the focus of most parents was on caretaking and not parenting. So when your developmental needs are not met, i.e. for your emotional support and psychological development, though we will grow up still looking to have those needs met. So although we might be quite intelligent and quite competent at an emotional and psychological level, we may be stuck at the level of a 5-year-old still wanting to be approved of. And we will hook up with somebody who we relate to as a parent almost, and we look to them to meet those emotional needs. And that is what happens when we don't become truly independent. We may be independent in that we may have our own house and we may live independently, we may have a good job, we may keep ourselves financially, but emotionally we need to be in a relationship with somebody. And if we're not in a relationship with somebody, we're not happy. That is a good indicator of being codependent. You may not be in a relationship for a good while, but if you're constantly wishing and hoping to be in a relationship, that's a kind of sign that your dependency needs have not been met. So you miss that crucial stage of emotional independence in your development. And so you go into a codependent relationship with somebody. So, and when that happens, if that person is not meeting your needs, which an alcoholic won't do, because an alcoholic is also codependent and he's all about meeting his own needs, and you keep yearning for him to pay attention to you, for him to make you feel valued and important, and of course it doesn't happen. And what does happen is you both get kind of entangled with each other, and you both go through a daily grind of trying to manipulate and control each other and get attention. And there's a power struggle that goes on for getting attention and controlling each other's behavior. So you get a scenario of, right, he's been out Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, or at least two out of those 3 nights, if not all of them. And it comes Monday and you're kind of thinking, right, I've got the children fed, dinner's over, surely he's not going to go out tonight. And you've had that running all the while you've been preparing dinner. And you're looking at him and watching for signs that he is going to get ready and go out. And he may sit and watch television and you're thinking, oh, right, well, he's sitting there watching television. No, he's going to stay home tonight. And you don't ask him because you don't want to make him think about going out. So you're kind of starting to relax, thinking, oh, well, he's going to stay in. Then he'll come out with something like, oh, I've just got to pop over and see John about something or other. And you know fine well, once he goes out the door, he's not coming in until after the pub's closed. So there's that every day. There is that kind of, will he, won't he? Is he going to stay in? Is he going to go out? Is he going to come back early or is he going to stay until after the pubs close? Is he going to be drunk when he comes in, or maybe he'll only have a few? You know, it's the unpredictability of it. So life is constant unpredictability. And sometimes what you get into doing, and this is where your behavior becomes irrational, you get into sometimes either you're a rebel, you're getting angry and raging about being left all the time on your own, or you become Mrs. Good and Perfect, that if I'm good enough and perfect enough, then he won't want to go out and he won't leave me on my own and he'll just want to stay here and be with me. So you really bend yourself out of shape, seeing to his every need and wish, want, and of course, when he goes out, then you feel even more wounded. How could he do that to me when I take such good care of him? And you say it's not rational. There's an excuse for his behavior because he may be an alcoholic and he gets drunk and behaves irrationally. But you're the sober one. What is it that makes you keep believing that bending yourself out of shape is going to make him different? I mean, even when you're being Mrs. Good and Perfect, you're not really, because you're just doing that to try to make him be different, to try and change him. So each of you become more angry over time and resentful over time. And over time, you know, his drinking gets into scenarios like he'll get a driving ban. And what do? You start driving him to work. You start picking him up from work, you know, on top of everything else that you're doing. The bills don't get paid, or he's out of work, he gets sacked, or he loses his job. What do? You sell your jewellery so as you can pay the bills. You keep taking up the slack. It's just not rational. And other ways of behaving irrationally, it's that when you're waiting for him to come home and you're tired, you've gone to bed, but you can't sleep because you keep wondering what he's doing, and you keep getting up and looking out the window. Every time you hear a sound or noise outside, you keep looking out to see, is that him coming home? Like as if looking out the window is going to make him come home any quicker. So there's all this irrational behavior that you start to get into, and then you threaten to leave. And, you know, you say, right, that's it, I'm leaving. And actually, it's another one of those things that's kind of to manipulate him. And actually, you just may feel like you've had enough, but it's really difficult to leave when you've invested time and years of your life and money, and you may have children, and it's a great upheaval for the children. But, you know, you reach times when you feel like I've had enough and that's it, I'm out of here. So he realizes maybe that, oh, she means it this time. and he'll kind of curtail things, be remorseful, say sorry. You have meaningful conversations, and he behaves himself a bit, and you know, you allow yourself to be persuaded that, well, when I change this job, or if only we moved house, or if I had a better car, or what, you know, whatever, when it's over, things will be better. And you want to believe that. You so much want to believe that it's going to be okay, that you are lulled into another false sense of security, and you have a little honeymoon period, and it feels wonderful, and you think, oh gosh, yes, maybe this time it'll be different. And you know, you want to believe it, especially if it's coming up to Christmas. You kind of want everything to be perfect for Christmas, but then what do you know, it all blows up again, and he's back to you know, getting drunk at the Christmas party, not coming home, whatever. And you're the unreasonable one because, you know, everybody gets drunk at Christmas, he says. So, you know, you get into that cycle of a kind of a boom and bust. And you can spend years and years and decades going round in that cycle. So let's look at our next video and see where we go from here. Bye for now.